The story begins in the vast highlands of Ethiopia, where the land stretches endlessly and life moves to the rhythm of endurance. Long before the world knew his name, a young man ran across these rugged paths, not for medals or recognition, but because movement was a part of survival. His name was Abebe Bikila, and his journey would go on to transform the history of sport and redefine the limits of human resilience. Born in 1932 in a rural village, Bikila grew up in a country marked by both pride and struggle. Ethiopia had faced the harsh realities of foreign occupation during the Italian invasion of the 1930s, and the memory of resistance was still alive in the national consciousness. Life in the countryside demanded strength from an early age. There were no paved roads or training facilities, only uneven terrain and long distances that had to be crossed daily. Without knowing it, Bikila was building extraordinary endurance, his body adapting naturally to the demands of his environment. As he grew older, he joined the Imperial Guard of Emperor Haile Selassie, one of the most elite units in the country. Military life introduced discipline and structure, sharpening his physical abilities and mental focus. It was within this environment that his potential as a runner began to emerge. Unlike many athletes who follow carefully designed training programs from a young age, Bikila's development was organic, shaped by necessity rather than design. His entry into competitive athletics came unexpectedly. A coach recognized something exceptional in his stride, an efficiency and calmness that set him apart. This recognition led to his inclusion in Ethiopia's Olympic program, though even then, he was not considered the team's leading contender. In fact, his opportunity to compete on the world stage came as a result of circumstance when he was selected as a late replacement for the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome. Arriving in Rome, Bikila was largely unknown. He carried no international reputation, no record of major victories, and no expectation of success. The marathon, one of the most grueling events in the Olympic Games, was dominated by experienced runners from around the world. For Bikila, it was his first true test at this level. Just before the race, an unexpected problem arose. The running shoes provided to him did not fit properly, threatening to disrupt his performance. Rather than risk injury or discomfort, he made a decision that would become one of the most iconic moments in sports history. He chose to run barefoot. It was a decision born out of practicality, but it would soon take on profound symbolic meaning. The marathon took place in the evening, with runners passing through the historic streets of Rome under the glow of torchlight. Among the competitors was Radi Ben Abdeselim, a strong and determined athlete who quickly emerged as Bikila's closest rival. For much of the race, the two men ran side by side, matching each other stride for stride. The tension between them grew with every mile, neither willing to concede ground. As the race neared its final stages, they passed a significant landmark, the obelisk of Axum, a monument that had been taken from Ethiopia during Italy's occupation. In that moment, the race carried a deeper significance. It was no longer just about victory, but about history, identity, and pride. It was here that Bikila made his decisive move. With a sudden burst of speed, he broke away from Abdeselim, creating a gap that continued to widen as he approached the finish line. His stride remained steady and controlled, even after more than 40 kilometers of running. When he crossed the finish line, he did so alone, setting a new world record. His victory at the 1960 Summer Olympics was historic. He became the first Black African to win an Olympic gold medal, and his achievement resonated across the continent and beyond. For many, it symbolized a new era, one in which African athletes could stand at the pinnacle of global competition. Bikila's barefoot run became an enduring image of determination, simplicity, and triumph. In the years that followed, Bikila's life changed dramatically. He was no longer an unknown soldier, but an international icon. Yet, despite his newfound fame, he remained grounded, continuing to train with the same discipline and humility that had defined his early years. 4 years later, he returned to compete in the 1964 Summer Olympics. This time, the expectations were immense. He was the defending champion, and the world was watching closely to see if he could repeat his success. However, his preparation was disrupted by a serious health issue. Just weeks before the marathon, he underwent surgery for appendicitis. Many doubted whether he would even be able to compete, let alone win. Defying those doubts, Bikila entered the race. Unlike in Rome, he wore running shoes, but his approach remained the same: focused, controlled, and unwavering. From the early stages of the race, he established a strong pace, gradually distancing himself from the rest of the field. There was no dramatic sprint at the end this time. Instead, his dominance was clear and consistent throughout. As he approached the finish line, there was no challenger in sight. He crossed it alone, once again, setting another world record. With this victory at the 1964 Summer Olympics, Bikila became the first athlete in history to win back-to-back Olympic marathons. His achievements cemented his place among the greatest long-distance runners of all time. Despite his success, Bikila's life would take a tragic turn. In 1969, he was involved in a car accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down. For a man whose identity had been built around running, the impact was profound. The physical limitations imposed by his injury could have ended his engagement with sport entirely. However, Bikila refused to accept defeat. Demonstrating the same resilience that had defined his running career, he adapted to his new reality. He took up sports such as archery and table tennis, continuing to train and compete despite his paralysis. His determination to remain active and engaged served as an inspiration to many, proving that his strength extended far beyond physical endurance. In 1973, at the age of 41, Abebe Bikila passed away. Though his life was relatively short, his impact was immense. He left behind a legacy that transcended athletics, influencing generations of runners and reshaping global perceptions of African athletes. Today, his story continues to inspire. His victories are remembered not just for the records he set, but for the barriers he broke. He demonstrated that greatness can emerge from the most unexpected places, that determination can overcome adversity, and that true strength lies not only in physical ability, but in the will to persevere. Abebe Bikila's journey, from a barefoot runner in the Ethiopian highlands to a two-time Olympic champion, remains one of the most powerful stories in the history of sport. His footsteps, once pressed into the streets of Rome and Tokyo, continue to echo across time, reminding the world that limits are often meant to be challenged and sometimes even redefined.